Hi guys, welcome to Vets Consulting. This is Ram and I'm SAP certified and experienced SAP corporate consultant. I have been working for 13 years as in this profile in multiple industries. Like I have worked on logistics and I have worked on insurance and reinsurance companies. So guys, this video I have prepared for you all. Uh, and thank you for watching this. I hope you will get benefited with it. I have given my full dedications to make these slides so that it become helpful to you guys, not only you guys, um, I mean, whosoever would do this training and get the job and would run their family or would make their family happy. So that will also make me happy. So that is the only prospect of making this video. So guys, so what we are going to cover in this training modules as training. So who should do this course and what is ERP and non-ERP? What is SAP and what does it do? And history of SAP. You should know the history of SAP also, like and SAP architecture and a difference between ECC and S4 HANA, SAP and its product, industry solutions of SAP ERP, type of SAP users, module of SAP ERP, type of functional modules and technical modules, how to choose what modules. And there are many others also like functional modules and its submodules, types of SAP projects and explanation with full explanations. And there are 6 steps of implementation and the explanation. Okay, and how to install SAP GUI. I hope so. I think most of the point which I covered here may be very basic and new to you. This is just for you to understand. So the main objectives of this training to give you the um, the explanations of this particular topic and and to achieve your goal, which will help you to achieve your goal. So do not worry if you are freshers also, if you are end users also, or so if you are just 1 to 2 years of experience also, do not worry. I'm there to help you out. Okay. So guys, the very important thing, who should do this course and what is ERP and non-ERP? So the topic which we are going to cover today is in this session is session 1. And in this session 1, we are going to cover who should do this course and what is ERP and non-ERP, what is SAP and what does it do, and history of SAP and SAP architecture. So these are the very basic things which everybody should know if you want to make your career in SAP. Like suppose if you are staying in India and if you don't know the history of India, how would you explain to the people if you go out of country or if someone comes in your country, if you don't know about your history, then what is the benefit of living in this country? So you should know the history also. Same way, whatever you are doing in life, so you should know the history of that particular thing. That will bring you happiness and you will be more skilled and will get more opportunities. So let us go with the first topic, who should do this SAP course. So any freshers, any fresh graduates, so who want to make their career in ERP, professionals who have 1 to 2 years of experience in data entry, finance, marketing, supply chain, banking jobs, and want to make their career in SAP ERP. SAP end users who are already working in SAP and want to make their career in SAP as a functional or technical consultant. So experienced professionals who are working in other ERP and want to change their career in SAP. Experienced IT professionals who are currently involved in developing business software and are willing to switch to an ERP design and implementation. The main prospect of this training is for SI FICO module only. So I will be covering other modules as soon as this will get completed. And also I will help you out with the interview questions also. Don't mug up, guys. So you need to understand the basic things which will help you to better understand anything. Okay. So the first question comes. So what do you guys understand by ERP and non-ERP? So I have given I have made a basic diagram in Excel. So you should know the difference between non-ERP systems and ERP systems. So you can see for sales department, any organization, there is a sales department, there is a material department, and there is production department, logistic department, and accounts department. So what happened in the olden days or in the recent also in the small company where there is non-ERP, what happens for SAP department, so for the sales department, there is a book which is maintained. Okay, and in the material department also there is a book, it is maintained. And for production department also a book is maintained. Logistic department also a book is maintained, and account department also a book is maintained. So same way, non-ERP system also sales department data will have their data in their own database. Material department will have their data in own database. Production department will have data in their database. Logistic department will have data in their database, and account department will have their data in database. So you can see one thing, there is no communication between this department to this department, this department, this department. So they do not have access for each other data. Like sales department do not have access to production department database, or you can say material department database, logistics. So there is no access for any of the department. So every time each department need to depend on other. Go ahead. Okay, because if the sales department will encourage the material department, they should catch up with the material department and get the details of the data, how much they have, how much material they have. But in case of no in case of ERP systems, you can see sales department, material department, production department, logistic department, and accounts department, all data will be in one database. You can see all in one department. That means what? Sales department can go and pull the report, generate the report, and they will get to know how much there is material. And material department also so can go into the database and pull the data. So about if you want to inquire about the production department and logistics and accounts department, so all department have access of each other data. I hope you guys are clear with it. If no, please comment on it. And if you want any type of if you have any type of query, just put a comment. I will answer your queries. Okay, guys. So let us go to other. So what is the drawback of non-ERP or decentralized system? So non-ERP or decentralized is the same thing, and for the centralized and ERP is same thing. So you can see like decentralized system, non-ERP, data is managed locally at different department. It is difficult for the department to access the data available at the other department in real time. It is one of the major drawback of a decentralized system. Other drawback are numerous as disparate information. Systems are generally individually over time, which are difficult to maintain. Integrating the data from department in time and money consuming. Inconsistency and duplication of data may occur. Lack of time information lead to customer dissatisfaction, loss of revenue, reputation, high inventory, material and human resource cost. So so because for non-ERP systems, as I told, if you are maintaining the books also, you need to maintain multiple book for each department. There is one only employee, and they so there is a loss of time also, because if someone will inquire about the material department, they go, so till the time they inquire, the sales department can just pull, they extract the report from the ERP system. So if they have if they have access to database, since they do not have access to database, they give a phone call and ask them to pull the report, and they will check out, and they told they will, there is no material. So there is no proper planning also in it. So that's why, so these are the drawback of decentralized system. Okay guys, I hope you guys are clear with it. So as I told, if you have any queries, just message, just put a comments, I will answer your queries. So benefit of ERP centralized system, ERP. So I think most of you know about ERP, right? So ERP is Enterprise Resource Planning. Itself, the name says ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning. ERP software includes program all core business areas such as procurement, production, material management, sales, marketing, finance, and human resources, etc. So the E stand for enterprise. So enterprise can be project or undertaking, like for company, and a resource which helps to benefit for the company. These are the resources like material, asset, cash, bank, supplier, customer, employees. These are the resources of the company. And planning. P stands for planning, which helps to utilize the resources. So this planning, how? Strategic planning, right? Technical operational planning, contingency planning. So how much material is required for making any thing, right? So last year, how much material was consumed to make a particular thing, like car or truck? So accordingly, planning department can just, from the ERP, they can pull the data, and they can plan how much cash they have, and how much asset they have, how much bank balance they have, and suppliers, how many types of suppliers are there, like which suppliers are giving how much distance. So all the data will be in the database. So they can have good planning, as per the supplier, and what type of customer they have, and what type of service they can provide. And so they can project something, know how many customers they have, and how much income we can generate through them, and how many employees are there in the organization, and what skill set they have, and if they improve their skill set, if they expense, if they, I mean, mm, expend some money on developing the employees, and what type of benefit they can. So they will segregate the, um, segregate the amount as per the, segregate the amount, or you can say budget. So every I mean, the operational department, there is some budget for, like material department, for asset department. So the budget is segregated to develop these resources, and to get benefited. I hope you guys are clear with it. Okay, so okay, let's. So I know you can't communicate with me, but still every time, I'm telling you, if you have any questions, just message me. You can just put a comment on it, and I will help you to answer your queries. Okay, thank you. Just let us go to another chapter. So what is SAP? What does it do? So I think most of the guys, I want to do SAP. What is this SAP? So what particular you want to do in SAP? Not so I will give you a history of SAP in next chapter. The full form of SAP is Systems Application Product and Data Processing. So how does SAP help? SAP help companies and organizations of all sizes and industry run their business profitability, adaptability continuously, and grow sustainably. So like I have given example in the earlier, so how many budget is required to do the operational, and what type of customer we have, and how much we can benefit through that customer, and what kind of supplier we have, and what kind of material we can get from the suppliers. So these are the things which SAP ERP which help you out. Okay, so SAP, I will so next chapter let us go to. So history of SAP. SAP founded in and around 1972 by five IBM engineers of Wellenreuther, Hector, Tisha, and Plattner. So these five guys were working with IBM. Suddenly in 1972, they decided to open their own organization, and they have named the organization as SAP. Later, it was known as SAP AG. So what they did in 1972 at the initial stage, so as they have developed SAP R1. Means R means for real-time data processing, and it's one-tier architecture. So what do you understand by real-time data processing? Real-time data processing is something you just entered on system now, and it should reflect on your passbook. So I remember in 1995-96, I used to go to the bank, and once I deposit the amount, and the cashier, once he used to enter into my books, it never used to reflect in my book until 2-3 hours. So it get reflect after 4-5 hours only. So that was not real time. And nowadays, as soon as you do fund transfer, immediately the fund get transferred to other account. So that is real time processing. Okay. So that was in Germany in 1972. That real time data processing was happened. Okay. So and it is one tier architecture in which three layers: presentation, application, database are installed in one server and one system. So that was R1. So I will give details with the detailed explanation with the diagram. Just uh, just know about 1972 SAP R1, and R stands for real time data processing. And 1979 R2 was released with IBM database and a dialect oriented for business application, which is handled in different language and currency. Just these are the basic things which you should know. And it has one server for presentation and two second server for application in database. So that was R2. So two servers, R2 release to R2. Okay, two tier architecture basically. So in 1992, R3 is a three-tier architecture in which three layers: presentation, application, and database are installed in three server and system. With version 5.0, SAP changed the name to ECC, Enterprise Central Component. So in this R3, one server for each: one server for presentation, second server for application, and third server for database. Okay. So every time they are developing from R1 to R2, R2 to R3, because they were getting challenged every time. So, and here I think around 2010, SAP S/4HANA, in the year a new version of HANA has been released. HANA, SAP HANA High Performance Analytical Application is a memory computing database. The latest version of HANA is SAP HANA 2020. So I will walk you through the diagram. I hope you guys will better understand. So here you see SAP architecture. So SAP architecture. So any systems, when you go and log in. So initially, once you open the laptop and once you log in, I mean enter the password or you just click on it, there will be a presentation server. So so once you open the browser, any browser, just click Google. Then what will happen? There you have the option to put search anything, right? So that is called presentation layer. So in that presentation layer, what you do, you input data. You search for any query, you just put the query and search for it. Same way, this presentation data, the presentation in presentation layer, you get the answer. Okay, but in between, once you search something, what happens? There is a database. There is a database. What? Presentation layer and database. From where you get the data? From the database. But before database, there is an application server. So once you search something on presentation layer, then it will go to application layer, and from application layer, it will process your data and it will send your data. It will send your query to database layer, and since there is all data in database layer, so it will help you to get the query from database. It will come to application layer. Again, from application layer, it will reflect on the presentation server. So you would not see anything, okay, on the database and application layers, like the systems. So like the systems, when it process, so once you run the system also, there is some processes which I will show you later in the uh, upcoming videos. How does it work? Because these are also basic knowledge you should have, and I hope because this part is also very big, and I should give you basic idea about this also, so you should have good idea about SAP. So provides graphical user interface screen to the user login screen, enter data and so process data in the screen. Like I told, I've given the example, like application layer serve as a purpose for communicator between presentation and database layer communication. So he search for something query and he send the communication to database, and database, from their database it pull the data here, and then it will show in the presentation layer. And what is database layer? It stores and provide data. So in R1, what happened? There was only one server. Presentation layer, application layer, and database layer. There was only one server. So it becomes difficult for, so at the initial stage, it it became difficult compared to today, because everything was on one server. Okay, so it was becoming difficult. So in R2, what happened? In presentation layer, there was one server, and in second server, there was application layer and database layer. Okay, second server. And in R3, what happened? In presentation layer, one server, application layer, second server, and database layer, third server. So when there are multiple servers, what happens? The system work very fast. Okay. But if there is one server only, so it becomes difficult for the system to search the data very fast. Okay. So now I think you would like to know what SAP ECC and SAP S4HANA, SAP and its products and industry specific solutions for SAP ERP. So these are these are the topic which we will cover on session 2. So whatever I have taught you today in session 1, if you have any so if you have any query, please let me know. I will help you out. And in the second session, I will cover your queries as well in that topic. Okay, guys. Thank you. Thank you very much.